everybody, it is flower spinning time, and today I am using a Prussian Blue base coat. This is Amsterdam paint mixed with water only. Let's go ahead and get started. You know the drill. I'm gonna pour just a little bit here in the center, and then I'm gonna spin that out to get it nice and thin. And for those of you who don't know, the reason I painted my sides with the Prussian Blue is because the edges and the sides are where the paint is the thinnest. And if you have a dark color that you're using as your base coat, or especially a transparent color that you're using as your base coat, you want to prevent the white canvas from actually popping through the color. So I do paint my sides and also the edges. All right, I'm gonna spin this just a little bit, get it nice and thin. Now let's go ahead and pour more base coat around the sides. Now I did just mix this a couple hours ago, so I'm gonna have a lot of bubbles. All right, I'm gonna spin that just a little bit to smooth it out, and then we'll be ready to start laying the colors. Ooh, lots of bubbles, guys, lots of bubbles. All right, so I'm gonna start with this light teal. It's a real pretty color. It's just got a really slight hint of turquoise to it. Now I'm coming in with this custom turquoise. It's actually a semi-transparent turquoise. I did a color test with regular turquoise green right out of the bottle, and it took over. It always takes over, and it doesn't really play nice with other colors because it's so opaque. So I just want a little hint of turquoise. Now I want the center to be pink. I'm gonna use this custom dusty rose that I made a while back, but I don't want the pink directly on top of that turquoise. So I'm gonna put just a little tiny dot of white. I'm just hoping that white doesn't completely wash out that turquoise because it is semi-transparent. We'll see. All right, this is Dusty Rose. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add gold in the center. I am gonna come around the center with white. Now on my last two flowers, I don't know if you guys watched the videos, but I made these like spikes coming out, so I have enough color to go all the way throughout the petal. The problem with putting your spikes on first is that my blow dryer blows like really wide petals, and I don't really know where I'm gonna be blowing. So laying the first one down is fine, but when I pre-lay all the other ones, it ends up getting all messed up because it's just not in the right spot. So I'll have to lay a little bit more white down as I'm blowing, which I don't like doing that either because I pour more base coat around this just to make sure that I have enough paint on the canvas for everything to bloom out nicely. And that just kind of leaves you with a lot more paint. So we'll just have to see how this goes. Let's start here. Okay, now I am gonna pour a little more base coat around here. I should have put it in a smaller cup to actually pour it because it's kind of coming from up high, which means that it's gonna sink underneath the color that's already there and then just create more bubbles. So I'm gonna give this just a minute before I actually start blowing it out to let some of these bubbles kind of resurface so I can hit them again with the torch. All right, it is time to start the blowout. That is pretty. I was gonna blow that out more, but it doesn't need it, it's fine. Let's go ahead and draw in some lines just to separate some of the petals. That I'm not happy with, but I may do some reshaping, but let's see. I think I might actually only reshape this section over here. Let me get my tools. All right, that may have worked out. I'm just trying to clean up this edge. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Where is the camera? You can't see what I'm doing. I need to stand on my little step ladder and just get a bird's eye view of like what this thing actually looks like. Okay, so the composition actually turned out kind of cool. I mean, it is a cute little flower, but I've got a couple issues here. Issue one is, see right here, first of all, I shouldn't have made that little cut with my palette knife. The second thing is that I didn't clean my palette knife good enough when I went to go swipe down, so it left that little line. Now, I did have to reshape that petal a little bit, and I decided not to mess with this because that is going to be easy enough to correct once it dries. And I felt like if I have to go in here and mess with it while it's still wet, I might run the risk of messing it up even more. So just because this will be an easy fix post-dry, I decided to leave that as is. See these big bubbles over here? These are from when my hot hair dryer went to go do the blowout. It popped all the bubbles underneath, and then they got spun and they got big. And this is all my own fault. I knew better. I mixed my paint 2 hours beforehand. Now, I usually mix my paint and go. However, when I work with dark base colors, I normally let my paint rest for a day or two. And my initial plan was to do this pour in the morning, but I couldn't help myself. I did it, and you know, this happened. But there are some really pretty parts. I will take you in here. I mean, check out that side. That is really cool. I mean, there are just some really cool parts in here. And I'm really glad that I used that pink. I did want just something really light. Sorry about the background noise. My dog is once again going bananas. And my center got wonky. I don't mind that so much. But, I mean, it actually is a pretty cool composition. And I'll fix that line once it dries so it's a little bit more shored up. And outside of that, I like it. I hope you enjoyed the video and have a great day.